Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Josiah Willis again from Caliber Real Estate. Just wanted to share with you another fun video today. I want to be talking about discount brokerages. And I think this is really important for people who are considering listing their property. Many people, I'm not going to actually say what discount brokerages I'm talking about specifically, but I think you can kind of figure out what I mean when I say discount brokerages. People who are offering you 1% listing fees, which I'm going to get into shortly. Anyway, so why it's important to understand what's going on behind the scenes in discount brokerages is because you really want to know from a seller's perspective what you're being offered and what you're not being offered, more importantly. So let me kind of get right into it. So many actual agents that are working at discount brokerages are not actually commission-based or 1099, which means independent contractors from their brokerage. They're actually salaried employees. Now, why does this matter? It really matters because they really answer to their managers at their company rather than their clients, right? They might have sales quotas that they're supposed to hit, and their whole concern is really, it takes sort of the financial fiduciary responsibility that an agent has to their client and puts it to the manager overseeing them and saying, well, I need to make sure that I do what my manager tells me, as opposed to what's in the best interest of their client. Now there are agents that are really good at representing their client fairly. And actually I think some of the commission or some of the bonus structure, not commission, but some of the bonus structure on how people get paid at discount brokerages, I think have to do with the level of client satisfaction. So I'm going to be honest there. I think that is a good thing. But at the same time, the incentive for creating a world-class selling experience for their client is often lacking. And what separates an agent like me, where I'm a 1099, which means I'm an independent contractor to my brokerage and I get paid commission, is that I have the full free reign to build the business, my own business and clientele the way I feel like I should, and what gives me, I can use my own strengths to better serve my clients in the way that best fits for both of us. So that being said, I have more of a long-term perspective on things in terms of wanting to make sure I do a good job for my clients so that they're happy to refer future business to me, whereas a discount brokerage person might not care as much because it's all about the transaction and hitting the quota. And so that's sort of a difference there. The next one is really funny to me because it's actually not, I can't believe they can actually advertise this because it's probably in fine print somewhere, but they say a 1% listing fee. That's almost always a lie. In fact, I think it always is. I haven't seen a case where it's not. But how is it a lie? They don't tell you that they're charging anywhere between 1 to 1.5% to the seller, but also the seller pays for the buying commission, and that's generally 3%. So essentially what they're saying is 4.5% or 4% is what you're really paying as the seller, because they're having you pay the buy side too. So they might take out a little bit of that spread to cover their costs, but it really is ridiculous because the real seller is paying 4 to 4.5% essentially, as opposed to 1% listing fee that they like to advertise. Because they're paying both sides. Because traditionally it's 6%, 3% to the selling brokerage and 3% to the listing brokerage. And that is the traditional format, but when they say it's a 1% list fee, they're not telling you the whole story. The next thing I want to talk about are how you interact with discount brokerages. So discount brokerages, they generally have they work as a team, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but at the same time, they have somebody who might show you a property, and that might not be the same person who helps write an offer on the property that was shown to you if you like that property. So you could be passed from the person showing you the property to the person who's going to actually write up the offer, which may not even seen the property themselves. So that's sort of worrisome in the sense that if the person writing up the offer didn't see the house themselves, do they really know what they're writing an offer on? But the other thing is you might have just shared all these things about this property that you really liked, or you might have had questions and concerns about the property when you went to go see the property with one person, and then that doesn't get relayed to the person writing the offer, which means that you have to repeat yourself, or stuff gets lost in translation. If you ever played the game of telephone, you know that as a message gets passed from one person to the other, it can easily get jumbled. So that's something to consider as well. And the next thing I want to talk about is probably the most important thing. They share the same business model as Walmart, let's be honest. Why does this matter? Well, if they're offering discounts on their commission, which means that they are lowering their profit on each deal, they have to make that profit up by transaction volume, right? So it's either buy or sell high, very few but high, or buy or sell low but very many of them to make profit. So from that perspective, they have to be transaction-based thinking, right? It's all about, let's get the transaction done, let's get it through. Well, that does the client a real disservice, because honestly, I had my managing broker of 25 years tell us that anytime her as a listing agent would come across an offer that was by a discount brokerage that was on the table, she automatically had kind of a smile come to her face, because she knew that she could get that discount brokerage agent to pretty much waive whatever she wanted or get whatever price she wanted out of them, because they were willing to sacrifice certain things on behalf of their client, which means they're not really negotiating on their client's behalf. They're just submitting an offer and working on whatever they can to get the deal done. That might be what the client wants, is that house no matter what. But at the same time, from my perspective and other agents like us at Caliber, we're going to make sure that our client's best interest is in mind. And if they're coming to a point where they have to offer a certain amount for a specific property, that property might actually not be worth that, then we're going to actually advise them. Even if the client wants to do that, that's fine. But we're going to advise them on that, whereas a discount brokerage agent probably wouldn't. So their whole philosophy is, I got to get this transaction done to meet my numbers, and in so doing, they are willing to sacrifice contingencies, price, you name it, in order to win the deal, essentially. And that's a huge red flag for me, thinking about somebody who's going to be if I was thinking about someone representing me, I wouldn't want them to definitely have my best interest in mind and be a really good negotiator on the side of fighting for what's in my best interest as a client, as opposed to just trying to get the deal done, because that's one of our most important responsibilities as an agent, is represent our client well. So I guess one way I'd put it is, do you really want somebody who has the same business model as Walmart representing you on buying or selling one of the largest financial assets you'll ever have in your lifetime? I wouldn't, but that's up to you, I guess. The next thing is their time and attention is sort of lacking, and that's because, again, they're doing so many transactions. They have to be spread thin, or they're not. One, a lot of them aren't trained that well. I've seen offers come in where, to be a discount brokerage, you have to give up on something, right? Well, because if you're not earning the same amount of money from your agents, then you're probably going to sacrifice on quality of training. So certain things are time is not well spent, or they're not well versed in writing up contracts from a form perspective, which means that they might make mistakes. I've seen offers from a discount brokerage come in with a mistake before, at the detriment of their own client. It was about an escalation clause. I'm not going to go into what an escalation clause really is in this video, but it's concerning, to say the least. So that's something to be taken into consideration. And the other thing I wanted to share is actually a review from a discount brokerage of an employee, former employee, at one of the top national discount brokerages out there. And before I read this, I want to tell you that I know this isn't the case in every scenario. There are good people and good agents at some discount brokerages. So they're not all bad. I'm not trying to bash everybody, because that's not true. I understand that there's people who are good at what they do. But I'm just wanting to tell you that there are concerns that you should be aware of. So here's one. I'm going to read. I think this was on either Indeed or this was on Glassdoor, but here's a review from one of the top ones in the nation in terms of discount brokerages. It says, waste of your real estate license, 1 star. This person's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, April 5th, 2018, so it's sort of recent. Event scheduling is at the whim of others and the market, no control over the volume of work you get. Events can be taken from you, and there is a distinct air of favoritism regarding scheduling. Seniority plays a role, so new hires who try to do this as a full-time job can have a hard time making enough income. Your location is not taken into consideration, so you'll travel miles and hours to get to jobs with no travel compensation. Communication is minimal, no team atmosphere. Automation fosters laziness and lack of skills. Deals often outmaneuvered. Undertrained management. Pros: jobs, events are handed to you. There is no lead generation. Lots of processes are online and automatic. Cons: cutthroat atmosphere of acquiring/holding on to events rather than just focusing on the client. Animosity is fostered by the lack of communication and inequitable distribution of events. Financial strain. That's one of them. There's another 1-star review here. It says, after working with blank, I'm not going to name the actual brokerage, for over 6 years, it has finally come time to move on. The company I was hired to represent when I started isn't the same anymore. Things have changed so drastically with management, compensation, and morale in general. I have been full-time with blank for a long time, and I have decided to go to a part-time position just until I can find something else. I lost the benefits, and blank does offer good benefits, but it's worth it. I lost YH benefits, which I don't really know what that means in this review, and blank does offer good benefits, but it's worth it so I can avoid pushing through the stress and ridiculous expectations that we're supposed to have to meet with no reward. Sorry, I'm reading this word for words. This review is not very great. Blank has a great thought process behind the idea, but the real work life is not what is advertised. Pros: free food. Cons: management, overwhelming workload, no work-life balance. So do you think an employee who feels this way is likely to take good care of you? Probably not. I will say, again, I want to be completely trustworthy here. I will say that there are 5-star reviews on this one as well from other people, so it's kind of pick your poison. But I think these speak huge into the fact that both of these talk about management and the workload and work-life balance and lots of issues here. So that's something to be aware of. So how is Caliber different? And this is sort of my pitch to you. I'm going to be transparent. We have qualified vendors from A to Z essentially that we've worked with through the past dealings, and that's roofers, plumbers, electricians, contractors, subcontractors, general contractors, flooring, painting, painters, you name it. We have a list of, even like title on escrow, we have a list of client or partnerships that we've developed over years from A to Z essentially in an Excel spreadsheet that us agents can use. This is even by location too, so Snohomish, Seattle, whatever. And we take real pride in the relationships we've developed because it's taken years to do so. But we're a full service brokerage, which means we offer clients access to these people as opposed to just being like, hey, you figure it out. We actually have these people sourced. We can find discounts on materials for updates prior to selling and after buying a property as well. My actual listing I had in June of 2018, I ended up getting my clients a discount on flooring because we buy in such bulk. And then I also got a staging discount, a flipper discount is what we call it because we do a lot of flips and we stage them. So I was able to get them discounts on those things prior to going live, and that really helped them out. We also have the largest selection of inventory to purchase from. Check out one of my other videos if you want to learn more about our inventory. We also have a huge buying pool. We have, I think, over, it's in the thousands. I'd have to double check. I don't want to give you an inaccurate number, so it's in the thousands of how many people we have as a buyer pool who buy properties from us or who have bought properties from us in the past, so we can access them and see if they're interested in buying right off the bat prior to even worrying about trying to find another offer somewhere else. And we have unparalleled market knowledge from analyzing so many of our deals. I mean, we're doing so many deals as a company alone, but we're also passing some of the deals we've sourced to other investors who are interested in investing with us. So we're analyzing deal after deal on a monthly basis. So we have such good market knowledge from all over this area and understanding the price points in specific neighborhoods. And honestly, there's much more I could talk about. You've probably heard me say we're in the top 10 fastest growing companies voted on by the Puget Sound Business Journal based on revenue. And that's because we take good care of our clients and we know what we're doing. So that's sort of our value proposition. We are not a discount brokerage, and that's why you may want to consider listing with us. If you're interested, please give me a call. You can reach me at 360-560-8073, or shoot me a text, or even email me. You can email me at josiahw, it's spelled JOSIAHW, at caliberre.com. So yeah, that's sort of it for discount brokerages and what to watch out for if you're considering listing with one. It's really important that you're at least made aware, even if you decide to go with one. That's completely your choice, but I want to make sure that you know what you're getting into and what they might not be telling you. So anyway, as always, invest wisely, and this is Josiah Willis signing off. Thank you.